You, yes, you. Oh my goodness, you amazing, beautiful human being of a human. Why are you not starting? You have so much potential and so much passion. Why don't you just start? This is something I've been thinking about a lot recently. Like, why is it that we just don't start? Like, not planning it, not waiting, not trying to line everything up perfectly, but literally just starting and moving. Just getting the ball rolling. Because I feel like we all have that one thing. We have that idea that, like, pulls us towards it, that feeling that pulls us towards something. And even if we don't even know what it is, it keeps coming back to us. And the more that I keep thinking about it, the more I think that it's not really as random as we think it is. I think that if it's something that keeps showing up in our mind and it's something that we consistently think about, it has to be there for a reason. To keep going on this thought, you don't want something randomly. Like you don't just want something over and over again randomly, or think about something over and over again randomly. Like there's always a reason for whatever it is that you're thinking about. And if it's something that maybe you're passionate about, or maybe you just, I don't know, that's been on your mind for a very long time, that has to mean that it's there for something. Like it has to be telling you something, or trying to show you something, or I don't really know. But there's always something in us that already knows. Even if we don't already know, actually. What if there is a part of us that deep down actually already knows whatever it is that we're, say, asking or whatever, right? But I feel like there's something in us that just kind of knows already. And I've talked about this a little bit in my other videos briefly, but in different situations in my life, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but in different situations in my life, there has been things in those times where I look at it, and looking back at it, I mean, and I realize, oh my gosh, I actually knew from the very beginning, and I had a gut feeling that whatever I was doing was just not quite right. And I had to try to take time to figure out what that was, because I didn't know. Who am I kidding? Like, I was so deep in that there was no way that I was gonna know. But looking back, I definitely had that gut feeling that something was a little bit off, and I wanted something a little bit more different, if that makes sense. And I think that in that sense, there's definitely something in us that just knows the answer. At that point, I think that well, that's a problem. Yeah, at that point, I think that we start to just question it. We start to overthink it and think, how can I figure this out? And how can I make sure that all of this makes sense? And how can I make sure that every detail is correct before moving forward? And this is where it kind of starts to get interesting to me, because it feels like there's almost two parts of us. There's the first part that we talked about, the part that just kind of knows, the gut feeling, and then there's the part of us that tries to control. And the knowing part is usually super simple, and it's like I keep saying, the gut feeling of it, just, hey, do this, or this feels right, or go this way, or do this thing, and it's instinctual. And then there's the other part of the logical side trying to kick in. There's the, okay, but how do I do this? What if it doesn't work? What if it's not the right time? What if I mess up? What if something goes wrong? What if someone thinks this way about me? What if I think this way about me after doing it? What if I find out that afterwards everything is just not right? What if I find out I do it wrong? Just all of these different questions, all of the logical, or so we think, logical questions that stop us in our tracks, and they make us think, what if? But what if we aren't supposed to have all the answers? What if all of the answers aren't actually supposed to come right away, at least until after you move? Because I've noticed this pattern where every time I actually start something and start doing something, and I wish I could be more specific, but all I could say is something, then after I take action, then things start to line up. And most of the time, it's not in a way that is too noticeable. It's not very perfect all the time, as I've talked about in another video, but all of the little things kind of start to happen, and they start to fall into place, and things start happening little by little, and events start to occur, and different pieces of the puzzle, I guess you could say, start to line up so that the ideas come easier, and the opportunities show up easier, and people come into your life, and you start to understand things that beforehand you never would have understood before. Yeah. And the reason that you aren't able to see any of that, at least beforehand, is because where you were standing, you literally just couldn't see it. The way that you were thinking, or the way that you're feeling, or the way that you're vibrating off your frequency is vibrating off into the universe, however you want to think about it, right? The place that you are standing is just not the right place for you to see it until you start to move. And then, like I said, the pieces of the puzzle start to fall into place, and you're actually able to see the sunset that you weren't able to see before if you were standing behind a car, right? Like, there's a billion different analogies that you could do. The one that I was going to say is that if you were standing behind a car, and yes, I know this is cheesy, and I know it's kind of stupid, but it's one way to think about it. So if you were standing behind a car, and you knew that there was a beautiful sunset out into a view and a scenery with mountains behind it, and there were just a huge valley, an open valley of trees and plants and life and anything and everything that you can think of that is beautiful in this world, right? In nature. And you know it's there, but you're standing behind this car and you can't see through it. You're standing in, I guess you could say, all the blind spots, and all you have to do is literally move to the other side of the car. Like, walk behind the car, walk in front of the car, but walk to the other side of that car, and you will see all of the amazingness and the beauty and the nature and the sunset or the sunrise. Then at that point it appears, right? So that's an example. But that said, it's almost like life can't really show you what the next step is unless you take the first step. You have to climb that first step. I'm sorry, and I know that it's brutal and I know that it's blunt, but literally just take the first step. I know it's blunt, and I did lose my train of thought. But again, with all of that said, I do know that this kind of sounds out there, but if you really just take a little bit of time to think about it and think about this idea of just starting and just taking that first step and just moving a little bit out of the way of that car that is right in front of you so that you can see this beautiful sunset, then maybe, just maybe, life will actually start to roll. And I know that makes no sense. I just realized that as I was saying it. But just maybe life will start to show you different instances and opportunities and events that will come into play, and life will start working out to be amazing for you, and you won't even know why. If we're talking about more examples, one would be the starting of this YouTube channel. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing when I started this YouTube channel. I still don't know what I'm doing for this YouTube channel. I'm literally just making it up as I go. And that's another thing too, is that I've learned that literally everybody who is doing things like this, like, we don't know what we're doing. We're just making it up as we go and doing our best and learning from the things that happen to make it the next thing better. But I had no plan. I had no direction. I had no clue where I was going. I mean, yes, I had an idea. I had like this want of, oh, I want to start this YouTube channel, and this is kind of what I want to do. I kind of want to ramble. I want to talk. I want to play Minecraft just for fun and see if other people like it. Yes, of course. I knew that that was something that I wanted to do, but I didn't know the details of it, the logical side of it planned out. I didn't know how I was going to record videos, like just all the back end stuff that had to be figured out in order for this to actually work. But yeah, I had the idea and I had that gut feeling of just try it. And again, with a little bit of what I was talking about earlier, I had this gut feeling ever since I was little. Like, I want to do videos and I want to talk to people on the internet and reach out to everybody and see what their thoughts are and feelings are and beliefs are. And I think that it would be so amazing to build a community of people that just are real. Because these days, finding people that are actually real is super rare. And finding people that are super genuine and not just looking out for themselves, and people who actually want to be friends. I don't know if I'm making sense or if I'm rambling, because most of the time, let's be honest, I'm just rambling. But it's super rare, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start this YouTube channel. So, with that said, because I listened to that gut feeling, and because even just a little bit, I trusted my gut and took a leap of faith and just jumped and just started, now I'm here. And I am so, so grateful to say that I now have 130 subs on YouTube, on this YouTube channel, and to every single one of you from the bottom of my heart, I am so grateful to you for being here, and I am so excited for the journey of this YouTube channel, whatever it may bring, whatever crazy shenanigans go on, whether the videos are good or bad. I am so grateful you're here and you have trusted me to be another YouTuber on your watch list. With that, I do want to say, if you are looking for a sign, let this be your sign to start whatever it is that you want to start. Let it be the little shift inside of you, even if it's just a little bit. Let this be the little shift, the little sign, the little whatever to tell you, just start, just jump, just do it. Just take that first logical step and just get going, because I promise you, it will make you feel so much better than just sitting there and doing nothing. Because what if it does work out? What if it leads to something and you find out that is the next best thing in your life? What if you discover that everything decides to work itself out along the way, and then suddenly it just feels a little bit lighter, and from that place it is so much easier to just move. And I think really that's what it comes down to. And what I mean by that is, what it comes down to is not to force yourself, not to push yourself too hard, not trying to be perfect, throwback to last week, but just shifting enough to the thoughts and the feelings and the belief of where it just feels a little bit more possible. And then from there, once you get the momentum going, everything will change. All of the overthinking and the questioning and the waiting and the doubting, I guess, it will break just a little bit every single time you start to do something new. And the next thing will lead to the next thing, to the next and the next. And eventually, before you know it, you'll be on your way. You'll find your way. You'll find your journey, and you'll find your dream destination. And that, my friend, is what life is about, is the journey. And I know people say this, trust me, I have been there. I've seen all the quotes. I'm a very much big quote collector, but that is the thing, right? The journey, the life, the passion, the love for what you're doing. You have to find something in you that ignites you, even if it's just a side thing like playing Minecraft for a couple hours and digging out a hole and talking to random strangers on the internet. It's honestly the journey. It's the journey. So I don't know. Maybe this is just a reminder to myself. Maybe it's a reminder to my past self. Maybe it's a reminder to you, if you needed to hear this today, that you don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to know every step, and you don't have to feel 100% ready, because let's be honest, most of the time we're not going to feel 100% ready to do anything. I mean, unless you're having a really, really good day, because probably that's not too realistic, at least not for every day. I know that's not realistic for me every day, but that doesn't mean that we're not supposed to start. If anything, that's a sign that we need to start. That's a sign that we are supposed to start. And I broke another pickaxe. So if there is something that keeps coming back to you and something that you keep thinking about, something that you feel like will just not leave you alone, if it's a good thing, course, then maybe just stop trying to figure it out so much and just take that first step, even if it's a small one, and getting on a Minecraft world for 5 minutes to dig out a hole, because chances are you will end up doing a lot more, as an example, this hole, than you think you are going to do. All right, well, with that, I'm going to stop here before I overthink this a little too much. Once again, I want to say a very, very heartfelt, grateful thank you so much to every single one of you that takes time to watch these videos. I very much appreciate it. And with that, I will see you in whatever video, episode, or whatever else it is that you see me in. Bye, everyone!